Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi wa kafa. Wa salamun ala ibadihi alladhina istafa. Amma ba'du fa'udhu billahi minash shaytanir rajim. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. قل من كان عدوا لجبريل فإنه نزله على قلبك بإذن الله مصدقا لما بين يديه وهدى وبشرى للمؤمنين من كان عدوا لله وملائكته ورسله وجبريل وميكال فإن الله عدو للكافرين. صدق الله العظيم. Regarding ayat number 97 of Surat al-Baqarah, we spoke about the various levels of life, haya, at least pertaining to our dunya, pertaining to our world. One form of life is just life itself, which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given to the plants, the vegetations, the trees, the rocks and mountains. This is one type of life. It doesn't have any concept of searching for sustenance. Sustenance comes to it. It doesn't need to go anywhere. It doesn't need to know too much. A very simple life form. The life forms that are more complicated than this one, the life form of the animals, of the insects, this is one type of life. The life of the haywanat, or the wild beasts, the animals. You go throughout the world, what kind of life they have. They're also divided into two categories. There are those that eat the vegetations, and then there's the carnivores that eat those that eat the vegetations. So you have these two categories. There's another type of life that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created, the life of jinn. They were created from fire. More specifically, marijim min nar, the smokeless fire, the core of fire. We call it magma. When you go into the volcanoes, you go be deeper than the lava itself. You go to the core of the earth, the magma. A kind of smokeless fire, very intense in its power. They also are a form of energy that cannot be seen. This is why we call them jinn. Janna ya jinnu, something you can't see. People ask a strange question: did you ever see a jinn? How are you going to see a jinn if the word itself means you can't see it? If you're seeing it, you're not seeing a jinn, you're seeing something else. You should cut down on the medications or drugs then, So just people give these strange stories, the feet are backwards and the head is very long and they started growing. What are you talking about? These are just jinn trying to scare you. It's not how jinn looks. Okay, jinn have a different kind of structure. Some of the jinn that we've been told about, specifically Iblis, try to understand that these concepts that we come up with, how a jinn could look, it doesn't look the way we think it looks. Okay? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created us from clay. You don't see us drooping clay. Okay? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us a structure from that clay. Similarly, the jinn, you don't find them that fire or walking around like big flame moving around. Yes, they're created from the fire, but they also have a structure. It is related or reported about Iblis or Shaitan that he is the mixture of three kinds of animal. There's a lizard, the falcon or bird of prey, and a mosquito. Very strange creation. Ajib creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Iblis or Shaitan as we know him. Okay, so this is not the kind of form that you can come up with in your imagination. He'll look some specific way. It doesn't look like this. It's a very strange creation. But they have the ability that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given them. They can transverse or move between dimensions. And when they come to the human dimension, so they take the form of animals in the human dimension. They take the form of snakes, or they take the form of dogs. Most famous is a small dog. And there are levels amongst the jinn. I'm not going to go too much in detail about this. It's a different topic for another time, but there is a life of the jinn also. There are different levels amongst them. There are powerful jinn, there are weak jinn. You have the average jinn. You have some that are the weakest. And in the jinn world, you still have slavery. And I just said I was not going to talk about it. Coming back to our topic. So this is one type, but the creation that they're created from fire. The nature that they're very, very impulsive. Just like fire is very impulsive. So they have this ability to be very, very impulsive in their actions, in their ideas, in their thoughts, in their feelings, in their emotions. They're very impulsive creatures. So this is the creation that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created. This is one type. There's a life form that is even above that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created the life of malaika, the angels. They're created from a special type of nur. And the nature of this nur is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He has created them from a nur which makes them inclined towards Him. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He's nuru samawati wal ard. We're told in the ayat of the Quran, Allahu nuru samawati wal ard. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the nur of the heavens and the earth. So the creations created from nur, the malaika, they're inclined towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They don't have free will. They don't have the idea of disobedience. They don't understand this concept. They only understand to carry out whatever task Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sets for them. Even if that task means that they'll have to die fulfilling that task, they'll do it. They don't understand the concept of disobedience. It's not in their nature. Their sustenance is the dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, specifically wahi, tilawat of the Quran, and various other revelations, the adhkar, dhikr and adhkar, this is their sustenance. They also look out and search for these kind of halaqat and gatherings. They attend these kind of gatherings, the gatherings of ilm, the halaqat of Quran, specifically where the Quran is recited. So they also attend these kind of gatherings. The malaika of rahmah, the angels of mercy. They have various tasks, and we went into all of that. We've gone over these details. Now if you divide, there are two major types of, or two major categories of life. If you divide from that life which is considered life, if you take out the plants and the rocks and the trees, the basic format, you have two major types of life. One is the life of animals, and also including that the life of jinn. This is one type of life. The life of animals is a life of desires. They eat, they sleep, they hunt, they know how to carry on their existence. Very simple life form. For that they have a certain level of freedom of will, free will. They can catch the kind of food that they want. They can eat the kind of food that they want. They don't understand concept of halal and haram. There's no halal or haram. Don't think that some animals also have halal and haram. This is not. Otherwise you have these beasts, they eat other beasts, they eat raw meat. And they're not sitting there saying Bismillah Allahu Akbar when they go hunting, okay? They don't have this concept of halal and haram. Okay, it doesn't apply to them. But they know their time of salah, they know their dhikr. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us in the Quran, كُلٌّ قَدْ عَلِمَ صَلَاتَهُ وَتَسْبِيحًا. Each of the creatures of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, each of the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they know their salawat and their tasbih. They know the times of prayer, and they know the dhikr that they do. Which means they have a specific tasbih. Okay, so that includes the birds and the animals, the wild beasts. Coming to the life of the jinn, also very impulsive creatures. They're also creatures of desires, but they're very impulsive. And they have free will also. And their free will is extended beyond the free will of the animals. Why? Because they're also intellectual creatures. The jinn, they have a higher level of intelligence, intellect. They're able to think, they're able to understand, they're able to make enemies, they're able to make friends. These concepts don't apply to the animal world. In the animal world, yes, you might find some carrying packs, they may have families, they may have some level of friendship to one another. But that's not the kind of friendship that is considered to that level. The jinn on a much deeper level, on a much deeper understanding, can have friends can have enemies, can have enmity, can have jealousy and hatred, can have love on a much higher level. These two combined, this is one type of life. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created us human beings, insan, and has made us a creation that is very strange. Strange in the sense of amazing. We have this impulsive nature also connected to our desires, which makes us have the ability to become even worse than the animals and even worse than the jinn or shayateen. Human being, he has this capacity. And that is one type or one quality of our nafs, known as nafs al-ammara. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions it in the Quran in Surah Yusuf. Inna an-nafsa la'ammaratun bis-su' illa ma rahima rabbi. Definitely the nafs al-ammara, it is with evil, always inclined towards evil, inclined towards the desires of this world. And not just desires. There's nothing wrong with having desire. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put this spark of desire inside every human being so that we may be able to progress in this dunya. But this desire of ammara, the nafsul ammara, it is bisu, it is inclined towards the destructive nature of desire. To have things within limits, it is allowed, it is safe. To go beyond the limits, this is dangerous. This was nafsul ammara, it goes beyond the limits. To drive in the speed limit, there's nothing wrong with driving. People can give you all the statistics about how dangerous driving is. It has never stopped anyone from driving. You know how dangerous driving is? Do you know how many car accidents happen every day? Do you know how many people die in cars every day? Such a dangerous act, yet everybody does it. Why? Because there's nothing dangerous with driving. When you go beyond the limits, you speed beyond what you're supposed to be driving. You go break all the laws of driving. Then you're going to have problems. There will be problems. You're going beyond the limits. So this is what the nafs al-ammara also. Fulfilling the desires but going beyond the limit. Going towards haram. Going towards the limitations that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made haram. And why has Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made these things haram? Because it makes the person, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has put these restrictions so that we insan, we the human beings, we can become the best of creation. If these things are done within limitations, the desires are accessed and utilized within limits, you can have a beautiful world. Because we were created for this dunya. We're not created for some other world. We're created from this dunya and for this dunya. We're created from this earth and we're created for this earth. Inni ja'ilun fil ardi khalifa. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made us vicegerents on this earth. But He has created within us the spark of desire to always want to utilize this dunya, to utilize this world, but within limits. Then it has great benefit. If we're working to improve humanity, then everything that we have, we'll use it to benefit others. That can become very, very useful and beneficial. Whether it is our skill set, whether it is our wealth, whether it is our intelligence, whatever it might be, if it is used to benefit humanity, how much benefit we can give. But if these things are turned to the negative, to harm humanity, then how much destruction have we human beings caused in this world? ظهر الفساد في البر والبحر بما كسبت أيدي الناس ليذيقهم بعض الذي عملوا لعلهم يرجعون. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us in the Quran that al-fasad, destruction and chaos, has appeared on land and sea. في البر والبحر, on land and also on sea. بما كسبت أيدي الناس, because of whatever this human being has earned. It's amazing. This Quran, this ayah revealed 1400 years ago. At a time when people didn't understand what pollution was. What pollution they had 1400 years. Go back 1400 years ago, what was pollution? How could somebody understand the concept of pollution? Then to understand to cause destruction in land, cause destruction on sea. This ayah was revealed regarding us. How much destruction have we caused in this dunya, in this world? We've destroyed land. How much land we've destroyed. We set the Amazon on fire. All for what? For profit, small gain of this dunya. How many oil spills? How many countries have we destroyed? How many communities? How many tribes? How many people have we destroyed with these oil spills? And also then go to the power plants. How much destruction? This is land. Come to the sea. There are oil spills in the sea also. Not only that, go look at the pollution, look at the plastic. On land and on sea, how much destruction have we caused? All because of what? Bima kasabat aydin nas. How the words of the Quran, how perfect, fixed. It doesn't say by the hands of what this human being has done. No. By what this human being has earned. Why are we doing all this destruction? Because we want to earn more. This human greed never ends. We can't have enough. The person who has $1 is looking for $10. The person who has $10 is looking for $100. And the person who's the richest human being on earth is looking how he can double his wealth also. Everyone is involved in this race. They call it a rat race. They're running in circles. All for what? Because of what this human being has earned. Bima kasabat aydin nas. Because of what a human being is earning. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, لِيُذِيقَهُمْ بَعْضَ الَّذِي عَمِلُوا. We do this so that they may taste some of their actions. How much destruction we've got, how much pollution in the world. We've literally destroyed this world. Now we're trying to make spaceships so we can destroy other planets also. We destroyed this earth, now we want to go to Mars, and want to go to the moon, and want to go to some other, because destroying this world wasn't enough. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us in the Quran, when these desires are not in check, how far it can go. And how impulsive we are. How many times we act, and later on we regret. How many things we've done. Now, they have these movements that are trying to save the planet, save the earth, cut down on plastic, cut down on all these emissions, have an emissions tax, and have this tax and that tax. Why weren't you thinking of this back in the years when you started all of this? Now we want damage control. You're trying to save the planet. What happened when you were starting these things? You knew the destructive nature of doing all of this. Why didn't we act that time? Why didn't we put in laws in place at that time to save the planet? Now everything is done. Now we want to save the planet. The planet is already destroyed. Now we want to save the planet. There was a joke we were told about a caravan that was traveling. So a group of bandits attacked the caravan, so everyone ran away. But there was one guy, he was standing there, So the bandits, they came and they stole everything from him, They robbed him. And after they robbed him, he checked himself and then he ran away, They said, why are you running now? We already stole from you. So this is our example. We already robbed the earth. Now we want to say, okay, now how to fix the earth? You already destroyed everything. Why weren't you thinking that time? This is our example. We're so impulsive creatures. We see profit, a little bit benefit. We don't care for the consequences. Then afterwards, we're trying to figure out how do we fix this. Then we're trying to fix it. Sometimes we don't even want to admit that we've destroyed something. So this is the impulsive nature of this human being. Once it goes beyond the limits, how destructive we can become. This is one nature. And there's a combination of the desires of the animals and the impulsive nature of the jinn. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has put it inside this human being. We carry this with us. No matter how smart we are, how intelligent we are, how sober we are, how wise we are, we still make certain decisions and impulse, then afterwards we regret. Afterwards we just sit there and think, well, what did I do? Why did I do this? So this is our nature. There's another nature also, the nature of the malaika, the angels. And the nature of the angels is that they look for contentment. Finding that contentment, they look for it in the dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in connecting themselves with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They're looking for that peace of mind. We also call it sakina, contentment. We call it itminan. We want to be in equilibrium within ourselves, a kind of peace. So the malaika, they have this nature. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has also placed that quality inside every human being also. Every human being is seeking utopia, seeking a perfect world. From the time we become intellectual, from the time we start to understand right and wrong, everyone is trying their best to make a perfect world. Yes, everybody's idea of what is a perfect world is different. Everyone is working for this. You ask any person why he's doing something, they'll tell you their idea of a perfect world. Some people, they believe that it's in politics. Some people believe it's in medicine. Some people believe it's in wealth. Some people believe it's in honor and respect. Some people find it in whatever other fields they'll find it in. They find their success and they look for their success. And they become dedicated to that. A sense of dedication, a sense of istiqamah, stability. And also the aspect of being or having this level of istiqamah towards it. This level of what they say, stableness in their nature, in their life. Consistency. Not just one-time thing, but they look for something how they can continuously benefit. Either they benefit or benefit others. And it's not a matter of one day or a matter of 2 days. All of us human beings, we have this within us. Once this spark ever disappears in a person, that person loses all will to survive, to live. It is happening in this time and age. Because of our connection with the material things of this dunya, because of our connection with the materialism, people are losing their tranquility, peace of mind. So they resort to suicide. You see how high the suicide rate is. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has placed this inside the human being also. They're seeking that perfect world. Within limits, yes, it's very good to have some detachment from the dunya, to find that peace of mind, to find that tranquility. To some degree, it is very, very good. But when it gets out of control, goes beyond the limit, then the person can cause harm to themselves. You have the example of monks, people who give up this dunya, people who isolate themselves from society for months. There are other people who don't, they go through very strange forms of fasting. They put themselves through strange acts, things that are not even human. Some of them don't eat for a prolonged period of time. Some of them don't talk for a prolonged period of time, days, weeks, months. They don't even talk to someone. They go into this trance. They isolate themselves. They become monks. La rahbaniyata fil Islam. There's no becoming monk in Islam. Remember this very clearly. This is not allowed for us. Yes, within limits, this is what Islam teaches us. We're told to detach from the world 5 times a day. What do you think salah is? There's a detachment from the dunya. To find that tranquility. Find that peace of mind. Find that equilibrium within you. We're told once in a year to fast for 29 or 30 days. To break away from the material things of this world for some time. Let the body heal. Give the body some chance to recuperate. We're given time to also purify our wealth. Kind of detachment from the wealth. Zakah. If it's not sadaqah, then it is zakah. Farda, farida. So these things we're told in the beautiful deen of Islam. But there are people who go beyond the limits. And they destroy themselves. They harm themselves. They cause great harm to themselves. And Sayyidina Umar radiallahu anhu, they conquered Rome, the Roman Empire. The Roman Empire was famous for Christianity. He went into one of the areas and there was a monastery. So Sayyidina Umar radiallahu anhu, being Amirul Mu'mineen Khalifa, he went and he went to the monastery and he told him, bring down the head monk. They went there and they came back. And they told Amirul Mu'mineen, Sayyidina Umar radiallahu anhu, that, well, the news or the message we got is that he's fasting. We're not allowed to disturb him, he's not. Sayyidina Umar radiallahu anhu became angry. He said, what? He said, bring him down right now. I don't care what he's doing. Bring him. They brought him. His face was so pale. Poor man. For days, weeks he had gone without him meeting anyone, seeing even sunlight, Strange kind of fasting. Sayyidina Umar radiallahu anhu looked at him and said, I feel so sorry for you. That in this dunya you're torturing yourself. In this world you're torturing yourself. Torturing yourself for what? Why don't you accept Islam? This fasting you're doing won't give you any benefit. Look at our beautiful deen of Islam. We don't eat, we don't drink, but we have time also. It's not like forever. sunrise to sunset. We talk to people. In fact, at that time we're told to do more ibadah, more tilawat of Quran, and more adhkar, more ibadah. What are you doing? This kind of isolation. And even on the Day of Judgment, you know what you're doing isn't right. And he told the person, he said, did Isa alayhi salam do this? You call yourself a follower of Isa alayhi salam. Did Isa alayhi salam ever do something like this? Go this extreme. The person said, no, he never did this. He said, then at least follow the teachings of Sayyidina Isa alayhi salam. Stop torturing yourself. And accept Islam. He gave him da'wah. So sometimes they go so beyond the limit. And it can cause great harm to a person. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has placed this inside every human being. We have this. It is called nafsul mutma'innah. The quality of the nafs that is trying to seek itminan. Trying to seek that equilibrium. And itminan is a very, very broad term. Part of it is equilibrium. Part of it is being very calmness. Part of it also includes sakina, tranquility, peace of mind. There are many, many meanings to this word. But to find that balance in one's life. And everyone is seeking that. Everyone is looking for that. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given it to us in the deen of Islam. There's a third quality that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given as a special gift to us human beings. You don't find it in the other creations. But this nafsul mutma'innah, this is a quality of the malaika also. It's a quality of the angels. Whenever they're commanded by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to do something, they do it. There's no question of if or what or why. No question whatsoever. They don't care. To them very clear. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us to do, that's it. They don't question. That questioning we human beings have. Why we have to do this? Why we have to do this? Always asking why. We don't need to know the why of everything. Otherwise it will hurt you. Even language is amazing, right? When someone gets hurt, what they say why? It hurts. So you guys keep asking why, you're going to get hurt. You don't need to know the why of everything. But you have to understand that, and you have to understand this idea and this concept that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is al-alim and al-hakim. He will never command you to do something that is not beneficial for you. You don't need to know the wisdom of it, but you need to trust Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Coming to the third quality of the nafs, which is very unique to us human beings, is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created a third quality that every human being has. And that third quality keeps the other two qualities in check. Anytime a person goes extreme on one side, this third quality starts to reprimand him. They have a psychological effect also, very unique psychological effect, where the person starts to question why they're doing something. Anytime a person goes extreme in their desires, so this nafs starts to nag at the person. And what are you doing? You're destroying yourself. And it starts to really make this person question what they're doing. They call it a conscience. It questions you, what you're doing something wrong. Anytime you do something wrong, it comes. The first time you do something wrong, you're reprimanded by this nafs. But the nature of us human beings is that whenever we do something, the first time, it has a great impact. The second time, it has an impact. The third time, maybe it has an impact. Then a time comes where we don't even notice, And then we get bored of it also. The first time you work out, I don't know if you remember, for those who, all of us have been through that stage, that part of life where we want it to look good, So you work out the first time, mashallah, you feel like you just ate a can of spinach and you were a Popeye, all the muscles, and you're checking yourself in the mirror. You did your one-day workout, you expect to see muscles, and you feel really good. Then the second day and the third day, now you need a 50-minute speed just to encourage you just to get up and do some exercise, Why? We get bored of it. The same applies to driving. How enthusiastic we were to drive, just to get behind the wheel and drive. And now we've come to a point where we're trying to get in the back seat. We just want to be chauffeured, that someone else drives for us, Yes. We get bored of this is such a boring, such a tiring thing, And this applies to everything in life. The first time we got a job, the first time we ever got some responsibility, so on and so forth. Same thing. The first time you do something wrong, then this third quality, it comes to you and it nags you. And it nags you very, very hard. Second time you do it, third time, eventually that time comes where it's not as strong as it was the first time. There was a, we're all almost out of time. There was a unique research that they did that interviews with, I believe it was 30 or 40 psychopaths, psychopathic killers. Okay, these are sociopaths who are, there's a difference in the way they kill. You have the psychopath and you have the sociopath, and these are killers who've killed large amounts of people. Each one of them had killed 30, 40, 50 people. And they have a very, very unique, distinct type of person they kill. They don't just go around randomly kill. Sociopath, they're very, very particular. And if some of them kill like a child of a particular age, they'll kill children of that age. And particularly specific type of child. Like there's some who are, in their mind, they'll always kill the second child in a family that has gotten children late. Just the sociopaths. And they try to reason for why they do that. Because they were the only son, or they were the second child, and whatever happened to them, and they were abused when they were young, and they grew up. But they're very, very intelligent. Their level of intelligence is shocking, how smart they are. They're not killing just randomly killing. There are particular reasons for why. And they do it so intelligent that even the police can't find this person. That's how intelligent they are. And sometimes the only way the police catch the person is the person gives himself in. That's sometimes the only way they catch these people. Some of them will kill a particular type of woman, blonde hair, or blue eyes, or particular brunette type, or just particular type of person they'll kill. Not once, not twice, throughout their life. So they interviewed all of them. And one of the amazing things they found with all of the sociopaths was that the first murder was the hardest one for them. Each one of them claimed that they were haunted almost 1 week because of it. This is the point that I'm trying to make here, is that they said that the first time we committed a murder, the person that we killed, we can still remember their face. One of them, he mentioned that the first time he killed someone, he was 9 years old. And he had a friend who was 7 years old. And they went out to the lakeside, and they were just lying down in the grass. He told his friend, 7-year-old, lie down. And they were just looking at the sun, and he said how beautiful the sun is. And his friend told him, yeah, it looks really nice. And he turned around and he killed his friend. He said, for 1 week I was haunted. He said after that he went on a killing spree. Every 3 or 4 years he used to kill a 7-year-old. They couldn't catch him. Anyhow, they said the first time we did it, it was the hardest. Second time was pretty hard too. After that it became normal. This nagging nafs Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has put within the human being, that it nags the person, it tells the person, what are you doing? This is wrong. And it also builds within this person a type of regret, a nadam or nadama within this person. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also gives this type of nafs, this quality, a name in the Quran. Nafsul lawwama. And it is so powerful that it keeps the person in check. If a person abides by the rules of this nafs, they can live on fitrah, on the very nature of being a human being. Because a person will never be extreme in anything. His desires will be in check. His shahawat will be in check. His impulsive nature will be in check. Also on the other side, he will not harm himself with unnecessary types of fasting or go beyond the limits on these crazy diets. Ya subhanallah, sometimes you go to the doctor and they check your symptoms and then they tell you, you can't eat this, you can't eat this, you can't eat this, and they give you this list of things you cannot eat. And after you give you this list, you look at the list and say, what am I supposed to eat? Paper and pencil or what? What is left to eat outside of this list? But sometimes you go, they give you these crazy diets sometimes. But this person with the nafsul lawwama, it keeps a person in check. They don't go so beyond. You kill yourself. Be within limits. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He swears by this also. لا أقسم بيوم القيامة ولا أقسم بالنفس اللوامة. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He swears by this nafs also. This is what makes this human being very unique. And just to understand that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us this to make the human being the most unique creation. Coming to the malaika or to the angels, they don't have this concept of what is right or wrong. To them, life is all about the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So to have enmity against an angel, Indirectly, you're having enmity against Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us understanding. Give all of us the tawfiq to practice His deen. وَمَا عَلَيْنَا إِلَّا الْبَلَاغُ. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيد المرسلين وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم. اللهم نور قلوبنا بالقرآن وزين أخلاقنا بالقرآن ونجنا من النار بالقرآن وادخلنا في الجنة بالقرآن. اللهم اجعل القرآن لنا في الدنيا قرينا وفي القبر مونسا وعلى الصراط نورا وفي الجنة رفيقا ومن النار سترا وحجابا. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. سبحان الله وبحمده سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله